Everywhere burst few hours ago as Tinubu couldn't believe his eyes due to what the judges are trying to do at the moment as far as Nnamdi Kanu case is concerned. You know, they never allow Nnamdi Kanu to go even when the court make rulings in several locations. They still detail this man in the DSS custody now. The judges have finally come to Tinubu in a very straight manner. They said no, enough is enough. They can't continue to tell them to detail Nnamdi Kanu and keep him in DSS custody. The judges said they will make the ruling to release Nnamdi Kanu and there's nothing Tinubu will do about it. Everywhere paused few hours ago. Even the judges that Tinubu appointed newly, they are now against the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS custody now. They plan to release this man and nothing will happen. The daring Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So I'll play you the video in this very video. I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share this video, just do what to share it. Share it to the streaming that platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
And boy, you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, for those of you that are new to this channel, just do what to click the subscription button appearing on your video screen, and as you clicking it, click the notification bell icon and outside so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let it know. Kasala burst few hours ago. What Tinubu never expected have finally burst out few hours ago. He never knew that this can come to limelight. You know, they have been on Nnamdi Kanu case for the past few years, and Nnamdi Kanu have been arrested according to reports at the regime of Muhammadu Buhari, and they refused to allow this man to go even when they allow others that were arrested like Sunday Igboho to go. But Nnamdi Kanu is never been allowed to go. Now a lot of people have wrote to Bola Ahmed Tinubu that Nnamdi Kanu must be released, that should try to release Nnamdi Kanu after he gets into office. But Tinubu gets into office, the case of Nnamdi Kanu remained the same. They never allowed this man to go even when the court have been making ruling in several locations that this man is not guilty of all the charges that have been leveraged against him. This man is not guilty of the offenses, even to the extent that the court actually removed all the counts, all the petitions against him. They said it's not guilty of it. They removed everything. Now they said the DSS to release him, but the DSS refused to release him, and as a matter of fact they kept him in their detention, and even to the extent that they never allowed the wife to see him some time ago, and they never allow his lawyers to see him. They disallow everybody from seeing him, and that is when the new DSS guy just got there. But Kasala burst few hours ago. The judges have finally burst out. They said no, they can't be making ruling, and some people are underruling the ruling that they're making in several locations that this man must be released. They said they will release Nnamdi Kanu, and there's nothing Tinubu will be able to do about it. They said they will release Nnamdi Kanu on a particular date, and there is nothing Tinubu will do about it. So I will play the full video in this very video. They finally burst out in court. They said no, enough is enough. So if you can share this video, just do well to share it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral, and if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Let a lot of people get to know what is happening in Nigeria, and let a lot of people get to know what is happening as far as Nnamdi Kanu case is concerned, because a lot of people actually believe that this case is a dead case and they're not saying anything about it. A lot is being said about the case. It's just that a lot of people don't really even know what is being said about the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Kasala finally burst. The judges of Nigeria are no more playing. They said enough is enough. Even the new judges that Tinubu Nene appointed, the new organ of judges are finally burst out. They said since this man is not guilty of the charges that have been leveraged against him, even the charges that they leveraged against him, what he did in England, and they leveraged the charges against him in Nigeria, they've removed the charges, and many of these things that they're doing, they said this man is not guilty of it. They said Nnamdi Kanu is never guilty of all these things, and even to the extent that they are not looking towards the direction that maybe Nnamdi Kanu will commit a crime inside the DSS custody so that they can put that crime against him, so that they can use the crime to draw him and leverage it against him. But he never committed any crime in the DSS custody. They're doing everything possible so that they can use something to tie him, but all the things that they have been using to be tying him down in the DSS custody, everything is being removed in the court, because they said this man, these things that they're using to be tying him down in the DSS custody, all the charges they're using to be tying him down, is not guilty of it, and they said this man should be released. But Nigeria DSS, according to report, they said they're receiving some order from some political elite and they never allow this man to be released. They never allow him to go. You will hear everything in this very video. You will see the way judges are busting out. They said they can't continue on the case of Nnamdi Kanu, even to the extent that some judges have resigned on the case of Nnamdi Kanu because these judges, according to the report, they said they're receiving order that they must not allow Nnamdi Kanu to go and all of that. And these judges have been working on the petitions of Nnamdi Kanu, but they can't jail this man. They can't sentence him because they know that this man is not guilty of all the offenses that was leveraged against him and all of that. And those are the things that the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu said, even to the extent that 2 judges, according to the report, have resigned. They said no, they can't continue the case of Nnamdi Kanu again. They said they can't continue on this matter again. They said they should not bring the matter to their table again, to the extent that a new judge is now handling the matter, and the new judge is still saying the same thing, that this man is not still guilty of all this thing, that they should allow him to go. But this man is still being kept in the DSS custody now. Simon Ekpa came out based on the convention that he wants to make on Finland. He said he wants to make a Biafra convention in Finland on December 2nd, and he said the 2 objectives and the 2 aims that he wants to achieve in the course of the convention is that he wants to legitimize Nigeria to Biafra, to the Igbos in Southeast, and he wants to legitimize the Biafra nation, even to the extent that these people are now working on the currencies of Biafra, and they said the currencies of Biafra will be better than Naira and all of that. And I said that is not enough. Simon Ekpa made it not to the general public that some political people have helped him to secure loan, which a lot of people said it is not true. They said they have helped them to secure loan of Biafra nation in the World Bank, and this loan is around $56 billion and all of that. And that is what this man said, but a lot of people debunked it. They said no, Simon Ekpa is a liar and all of that. But this man have been making a lot of money. Even the convention that they want to make on the 2nd of December to legitimize the Biafra nation and all of that, he said the convention, he have submitted the form, he have submitted the report to the government of the Finland, and they said he have accepted it and all of that, that Finland is not giving them the go ahead to do that convention, and Nigerian government is actually against all these things that is trying to happen on December 2nd and all of that. But everywhere is bossing. They said Nnamdi Kanu is finally leaving. The judges are now on the side of Nnamdi Kanu at the moment. You will hear him in this very video, so if you can share the video, just share it. If you can share it, just like it as you're watching it, give it a thumb up. Just watch the video for yourself. I'll come back again.
He categorically stated that no court in Nigeria can try him.
Of course.
Under what premise was he making that pronouncement?
Because the particular evidence which they have brought against Nnamdi Kanu about jurisdiction has been nullified. That was why they withdrew it in their charge. Because for you to say that this, where did he commit this offense? That is very important in this type of trial. You cannot say that somebody stole. Where did you steal this property? It's a criminal charge. I hope you know. You cannot say that. Where did you commit this offense? It is very important. If you cannot identify where the offense was committed, then what are you doing? What are you trying? That is the problem here. The federal government know that no matter how they detain Nnamdi Kanu, they cannot wriggle out of that. And they do not come and say, okay, Nnamdi Kanu, oh yeah, go home, just like they did for Showore. They can't do that. After they have messed up everything, they are afraid that Nnamdi Kanu may institute a case against them for renditioning him from Kenya. Are you getting it now? These are the quagmire the federal government are in now. And that is why they are finding it difficult to even look. All this thing about Nnamdi Kanu is looking for a judge or not that. My dear, it is not necessary.
Now, before I allow you to go on to watch that video, you have to understand that this government of yours does not have your interest at heart. This government of yours does not want you to succeed in life. This government of yours wants you to continue to remain down all the days of your life. Reason they send their children overseas, give them all their monies that they stole from you. Reason they are building refinery everywhere in the world while their children control it while you are here suffering, looking for money to buy common garri to drink. So do not think that Nnamdi Kanu is your problem. He is never your problem. He will never be your problem. Your problem is those you voted inside because of your tribalism. Your problem is those who rig themselves into office as a leaders today. Your problem is those who believe so much in terrorism than the people whom they are ruling. Your problem is those who are busy arresting innocent freedom fighters and innocent journalists and innocent protesters, killing them in cold blood. Why? The terrorists are busy moving around with AK-47. Your problem is those who massacred innocent protesters in Lake Kitogate, and your president today was part of them. That is your problem. No matter where you're coming from, your freedom is sacrosanct. Do not use your own to destroy another person's own. Nnamdi Kanu want freedom of Biafrans. This is because he has the interest at heart. You can also search for your own freedom. As a human being, you deserve it. That is your right. Do not use your own to spoil another person's own. Don't use your reggae to spoil my own reggae. Nnamdi Kanu is a true leader that people should emulate and respect. It's not your problem. Buhari was, Tinubu is, and that is the truth. You may go ahead and watch the video to the end.
The judge at the Federal High Court, Justice John Tosho, has reportedly declined Justice Binta Nyako's request to step down from presiding over the trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Justice Tosho has instructed that the case be returned to Justice Binta Nyako, deeming her the best fit to continue overseeing the proceedings. Now, a reliable source who chose to remain anonymous informed Daily Post, an online news platform, about the decision today, revealing several reasons behind the Chief Judge's choice. According to this source, Justice Tosho's refusal to reassign the case was based on key considerations. One, that two other judges were previously recused from the case, that the case has lingered for too long from 2015. Number three, that the case has blended most with Justice Binta, thus making her the most suited or best placed judge to handle and conclude the case. However, the Chief Judge has also directed that if at the next hearing of the case, Nnamdi Kanu still insists on recusing Binta Nyako, he must file a written motion with an affidavit stating all the grounds for requesting the recusal. You'll recall that Justice Nyako recently withdrew herself from the case after Kanu openly expressed doubts regarding her ability to impartially handle his trial, citing a lack of confidence in her judgment. You're currently listening to the World News at 12 on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and of course it's time for a news analysis segment, and I have right here in the studio Barrister Darlington Agumor, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Barrister Darlington, good afternoon and welcome to the World News at 12.
Good afternoon, and how are you?
I am fine. Let's start up with this particular controversial case. You know that the news today has been riddled with all court cases. Apparently, most of the cases were held simultaneously earlier today because we've been hearing the rulings from all the court judgments. Now, let's look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu. The Chief Judge at the Federal High Court, Justice John Tosho, has reportedly declined Binta Nyako's, recusal from his case. Now, he gave three valid reasons as to why he is reassigning Justice Nyako back to Nnamdi Kanu's case. He said that two other judges, right, have been previously recused from the case. That is, the first two judges who were handling Nnamdi Kanu's case, they've recused themselves, and that the case has lingered for too long, meaning that the case has been in court since 2015, and that the case mostly pended with Justice Binta Nyako, meaning that for the longest time she's been the one handling the case, so she understands the case better than any other judge who may have to come in, because if a judge comes in now, the judge may want to start afresh and they will start postponing and assigning new dates. Now, the judge now said that if Justice Binta Nyako comes back to the case and Nnamdi Kanu still deems her unfit or deems her biased in continuing with the case, he needs to sign an affidavit on the grounds of requesting that recusal. What do you think this means? What's going to happen now?
Thank you, Esther. It is the right of everybody that is standing trial to be comfortable with the trial court or judge.
All right.
But if in the course of this trial you discover that you may not get fair hearing from this judge or this court, you can ask for the judge to excuse herself or himself from the matter.
But what Justice John Tosho is saying is that there have been 2 other judges that have recused themselves from this case. The second thing he said is that the case has lingered for so long since 2015. Now, what a lot of critical, logical thinkers will be like, if this case has lingered for so long, is it Nnamdi Kanu's fault that the case has lingered for this long? So what exactly is wrong that they've not been able to surmise and conclude his case?
It is very obvious. It's like the federal government is shopping for evidence against Nnamdi Kanu.
They're shopping for evidence since 2015?
Yes.
You want to tell me that you detain somebody, you incarcerate somebody, and you don't have strong evidence to take that person to trial?
That is the modus operandi when you don't have a strong evidence against a suspect or a defendant.
Barrister Darlington, who was the first Attorney General of the Federation that took this case to the court? Was it not the former Minister of Justice, Amalami?
Amalami, of course, he was part of those who renditioned him from Kenya.
What were the strong points? What was the locus standi for his incarceration?
Good. It was because that rendition, the people that went for him in Kenya, they didn't even know the crime they have committed themselves. It was when the court now said that, look, you people committed offense against this young man. That what you did was an international crime against him. And that we don't even have a law to try Nnamdi Kanu for what you are saying.
Okay.
And it was when the court now, because jurisdiction is very important when you are going for this type of trial.
Exactly.
When they now realize that the offense you have charged this man for was committed in London. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they now realize that if they move on with this case, they cannot succeed. So they remove London. If you have not removed London, so what are you now going to try Nnamdi Kanu for? Esther, that is the crux of the matter. Except they can be able to resolve that jurisdiction. They cannot, they can't get Nnamdi Kanu anywhere. And so when the court now explained this to the prosecutors, they became now ashamed. They don't know whether to return Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya or to free him or to continue with the case. That is the quagmire they are in, because it was the court that told them this. So based on that fact now, the federal government are looking for any other thing. Maybe they are looking for Nnamdi Kanu to commit one thing in prison or the other. They will now say, okay, since you were in prison, look at what you have done in prison. That is the reason why this detention has prolonged for this long. And the other 2 judges that excuse themselves from this, did you see the reason why Nnamdi Kanu gave? That they are biased. And it's because these judges knew. That was why they excused themselves. So if Justice Tosho is now saying that Nnamdi Kanu should not write and give affidavit, and the other 2 judges that excused themselves, did he follow the same procedure? It is the fault of the federal government. I told you here, they are shopping for evidence against Nnamdi Kanu. All these things that they are saying up and down, it is not strong enough to convict Nnamdi Kanu. It's not possible. Even the Supreme Court was against how they now withdrew Nnamdi Kanu's bail. The Supreme Court said that it was wrong for them to have withdrawn his bail after hearing all the argument on both sides. And that was why the Supreme Court said they should go back, and that Nnamdi Kanu should even sue the federal government. He should institute a civil suit against the federal government. All this is in public domain.
The last time Nnamdi Kanu appeared in court, he categorically stated that no court in Nigeria can try him.
Of course.
Under what premise was he making that pronouncement?
Because the particular evidence which they have brought against Nnamdi Kanu about jurisdiction had been nullified. That was why they withdrew it in their charge. Because for you to say that where did he commit this offense? That is very important in this type of trial. You cannot say that somebody where did you steal this property? It's a criminal charge. I hope you know. You cannot say that where did you commit this offense? It is very important. If you cannot identify where the offense was committed, then what are you doing? What are you trying? That is the problem here. The federal government know that no matter how they detain Nnamdi Kanu, they cannot wriggle out of that. And they do not come and say, okay, Nnamdi Kanu, go home, just like they did for Shawore. They can't do that. After they have messed up everything, they are afraid that Nnamdi Kanu may institute a case against them for renditioning him from Kenya. Are you getting it now? These are the quagmire the federal government are in now. And that is why they are finding it difficult to even look. All this thing about Nnamdi Kanu is looking for a judge or not that. My dear, it is not necessary. I have a president here. Tompolo, government Tompolo.
Exactly.
Was tried in absentia and sentenced. He didn't appear in court for 1 day.
And nothing happened.
I'm telling you, the federal government tried him in absentia and he was sentenced. Unfortunately, that same man is doing contract for the federal government today. Esther, how do you justify all this thing for God's sake? How do you? I'm talking of those who have held arms against the federal government. Arms.
Serious arms.
So,
we even have persons who are like non-state actors. We have Asari Dokubo telling us he has men, he has RPGs. He said it openly via his social media account, and nobody has called him to question. Nobody has asked where his facility is, where he's storing those RPGs.
The one I discussed yesterday on my program was this one about terrorists who were rehabilitated into our military, running away with the gun they gave them a motorcycle. Esther, can you define this in any form or shape? That they told us yesterday that they have sworn with the Quran, they have been de-radicalized, they are that, they are this, they are born again.
Now they've reintegrated them.
Yes, they ran away with the guns, Esther, guns purchased with our taxpayers' money and motorcycle. What was their reason? They said what they told them before they joined them is not what they are hearing. So what was the promise made to them? I'm talking of terrorists. Terrorists.
So, Barrister Darlington, in this particular matter now, since Justice John Soho has, asked that Justice Binta Nyako comes back to that particular case, what if she declines to come back? What then happens?
The choice is hers.
The choice is hers?
Yes.
In this particular instance,
yes.
Initially she was not the one who asked to recuse herself. It was Nnamdi Kanu who boldly stated in the court that he doesn't trust her judgment, right? Now, and of course, he ruled out certain factors as to why he doesn't trust her presiding over his case. And she said, if that is what you want, I would step down. But do you think that she's going to obey this chief judge of the Federal High Court order to return to Nnamdi Kanu's case?
In fact, Nnamdi Kanu and his lawyers, they already have something to hold on to.
And what is that?
Good. This particular judge initially suggested that they should go and seek for political solution to this problem.
Yes.
For a judge to say that, it means that she had looked at this case and see that it's not going anywhere. That is the first thing everybody should know. If she know that this matter, that is a strong evidence against Nnamdi Kanu, she wouldn't have made that suggestion.
Okay, Barrister.
Now, listen.
Okay.
Now, before this time, Sca.Tter Amadi was on air, everywhere, on social media. He revealed that this same judge told him that this that this matter is not going anywhere because the federal government cannot succeed in their charge against Nnamdi Kanu. Up till now, nobody has come to say it's a lie. Up till now. So on what basis will this judge continue? Already there is this moral burden now on her. Yes. There's nothing she will do about that case after all this evidence. I'm telling you, there's nothing she will do about this matter. After this one, there is nothing.
Barrister Darlington, let me bring your mind back. You will recall that when the same judge had requested that Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government or the Attorney General of the Federation try to come through what you call a truce, a political truce. I remember at the time, the rancor was the fact that Nnamdi Kanu never said that he wants to have a possible conversation or negotiation with the federal government. Do you think that maybe his legal team did not approach the Attorney General of the Federation? Because I remember that time, what was in the news was Nnamdi Kanu can never go and meet the federal government because he has done nothing wrong or whatever. Is it about pride now or ego? Because if his team did not reach out to the Attorney General of the Federation, or possibly his team is waiting for the Attorney General of the Federation to reach out to him and that did not happen, is this why we're seeing this case being prolonged? No, don't look for something that is not missing. Okay. The Kanu's team, legal team, they have approached the Attorney General. Okay. We also it. Ejimako compiled all the judgment in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, 9 of them, and he had taken it to the man. Even some lawmakers headed by Abaribe, they have gone to meet the Attorney General, and the man promised them that they will look into it. And that was after that suggestion by the judge. Yes. So what else are they delaying? Okay, did they offer Nnamdi Kanu anything and he said no, I don't want? Maybe there are some. Do you think there are some conditions that he doesn't want to abide by in the conversation they're having? Please, I told you, don't look for something that's not missing. We have not had anything from the federal government that Nnamdi Kanu refused.
or anything that was suggested to Igbo people and the Igbo elder, and they said no, we don't want this. Nothing was faced for the federal government. When the Sowore was released, was there any condition? They just entered the nolly prosecute, and the man was let off the hook, discharged and acquitted. So what is delaying Nnamdi Kanu's case? Since you know you cannot win this case against him, why are you delaying the matter?
That's a very big question.
Yes.
What exactly is delaying this
I'm
case?
telling you,
Why the back and forth?
Yes.
Why the back and forth? If they have evidences against him, why don't you present it and accelerate the trial?
What are you telling me? That we have two other cases. Dasuki, until today.
Sambo Dasuki.
Did you see him in court? Until they asked him to go.
Exactly.
Al Mustafa.
Darius Ishaku too.
One of them. They have been let go. So what is delaying Nnamdi Kanu's case? So anybody who is telling you that Nnamdi Kanu refused is a lie. We have not had anything from the federal government.
All right, Barrister.
They believe that when they break Nnamdi Kanu's spirit in detention, maybe he will now do one thing or the other. They will now hold something against him. They are working towards an answer. They are working because everybody have told them release this man before the inevitable happen. Because if something happened to this man, Sca.Tter, please, how will the federal government defend it? Remember that the United Nations have written concerning Nnamdi Kanu in this matter. United Nations
on several occasions.
Yes, US and UK have waded into this matter, yet they remain adamant. What do you think is going on here? If there is have a strong, nobody will even intervene in Nnamdi Kanu's case. Nobody will support a terrorist anywhere in the world. But look at how they are pampering those in the north. Esther, just imagine. The whole world is watching what is going on.
So you're saying that there is a geographical preference in this case?
Is it not obvious? Is it not obvious? What else are we talking about here?
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that was said in this very video, even to the extent that 2 judges resigned based on the case of Nnamdi Kanu, because according to what they said in this very video, according to what you hear in this very video, they said if you are in court and a judge is trying you and all of that, and they putting your case in front of a judge and you are not okay with the judicial, you are not okay with the judge that is sitting on your case and all of that, you can write that the judge should be removed and be replaced and all of that. And I think that was what happened, even to the extent that 2 judges have to be replaced based on the case of Nnamdi Kanu, because according to report now, the case of Nnamdi Kanu have been on since 2015, and where on net is this happening? For them to be trying someone for the past 9 years, which is 2015, and they still don't have a concrete evidence against him. This obviously stating that the government did not have any concrete evidence against this man. Everything that they bring forward to keep him in the DSS custody, to the DSS detention, everything is not a solid evidence and all of that. They don't have a solid evidence, even to the extent that they are now shuffling for evidence even when the man is in the DSS custody. Are they waiting for him to commit any crime in the DSS custody so that they can use it to hold him? Why have they been using the DSS to detain him for the past years and all of that, and did not allow him to go now? If anything should happen in the eastern part of Nigeria, because according to report now, in the southeastern part of Nigeria, insecurity have become the game of the day. Since when Nnamdi Kanu have been arrested, there have been a lot of insecurity. There have been kidnapping, banditry and all of that. A lot of Igbo people have been poofed due to insecurity. Now Nnamdi Kanu came out, he made it not a general point that it is some political elites that are actually eating from all this insecurity that have been happening in the eastern part of Nigeria, that if they can release him once, that in 2 seconds all the insecurity will stop. That was what Nnamdi Kanu said. He said he had the full control of the southeastern part of Nigeria. He had the full control of the BIAFRA land and all of that, but yet they never allowed this man to go. Rather, if there's any security issue that happened in the eastern part of Nigeria, they are now dating into the IPOB people. The IPOB people have been accused that they have been the one that will be responsible for the insecurity that have been happening in the eastern part of Nigeria and all of that. And Nnamdi Kanu said no, the IPOB people are peaceful people and they did not have anything to do with all the insecurity. He said the insecurity thing is what he's trying to fight for when they even arrested him. Now, no evidence against this man. Now, 2 judges have dropped the case that they brought to them based on Nnamdi Kanu and all of that, and no judges are now handling the case, and they still saying the same thing, that this man did not have any guilt. This man is not guilty of any offenses that they leverage against him and all of that, but yet they still don't allow him to go. Now the judges are now coming up together conventionally. They said no, enough is enough, that they can't continue to detain him in the DSS custody, that they should just let him to go. But obviously speaking, Tinubu never wanted Nnamdi Kanu to be released. according to report and according to some people, some Igbo elites and all of that, they said Tinubu never wanted them to go there. If Tinubu really wanted Nnamdi Kanu to be released, it would be released with immediate effect. But Tinubu is the kind of person that is always working towards the unity of Nigeria. He did not want any Nigerian part to break out and all of that. That's the kind of person that he is, and that is what he's trying to do now. Nnamdi Kanu have been in the DSS custody, but the moment they arrested some minors in the August protest this year and all of that, and these minors actually engaged in Kuje prison for 3 months plus, and they never allowed them to go, and many of these minors were malnourished, even to the extent that the lawyers of Tinubu came out to justify what is not even justifiable. They came out to make known to the general public that those children are not minor, that many of them are married men, many of them have wives and children and all of that, and these children are just age 14, age 11, age 12, because very dark man actually asked them their age and all of that, and they mentioned their age. These children are kids, but when the uproar in the society, when the uproar of Nigerians became loud and all of that, Tinubu have to allow these children to go. He made the order that they should release those children, even to the extent that the lawyer of Tinubu that was trying to defend what is not defendable, that was saying that the children are not minor, he was in big shame because they allowed the children to go due to the order that Tinubu gave. Now, tell me, can't the same Tinubu in question make the order that Nnamdi Kanu should be released? So obviously speaking, they said it is Tinubu that is holding him back, according to what people are saying and according to what a lot of elites are saying regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu. They said it is Tinubu that is holding him back, that if Tinubu wants him to go, he will be released with immediate alacrity and there will be nobody to hold him back and all of that. But according to report, Tinubu is scared of the fact that if they should allow this man to go, he will continue his agitation. His agitation will have a bigger force and it will be in another level of the BIAFRA now. It will be agitating more of the BIAFRA nation and all of that, and by this time they may not be able to hold him again. That's what Tinubu is scared of, according to what some Igbo people and a lot of Igbo elites are actually saying. So what do you guys think? Because the judges are finally busting out, they said there's nothing Tinubu will do, that they will release Nnamdi Kanu, they will make the order that it should be released and all of that, and it will be released with immediate effect, and there's nothing Tinubu will do about it. What do you think regarding all these statements from the judges and all of that and all of that? Just drop a opinion in the comment section of this video, as I'm gonna there to get another for you. And sure, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.